all, thank you for clicking on this video. If you are here to heal, I really commend you and I appreciate you. And if you are here to relate to one another, you are not alone. I was in the same boat. Shoot, I'm still in the same boat. But this is a disclaimer to explain that this is a series about my childhood and adulthood trauma experiences that were developed from my parents. The purpose is to target a community of women who can relate to my upbringing, my feelings, and my story. This isn't to slander, bash, judge, or harm anyone's character of the parties involved. Through this series, I'm to share my story while doing my best at aiming to please God through this content. I disclaim that I do love my family, and if any of what I share they happen to see, I would only hope that they hear me when I say my story is for me, my healing, and my audience, to help us all get through the things that have caused this trauma. If any other family members watching this get triggered by my story, please remember this is my truth. And sometimes I can hurt someone's feelings due to it not being the other person's truth, or what I say may strike a nerve because it holds truth. In whichever way, this is my perception, and if it's not agreed to, I respect that. As long as the people know their pure intentions, my words shouldn't ruffle any feathers. Me telling my story is no different than a singer singing about their heartbreak or breakup and singing it to the whole world. So I pray that everyone can heal, mature in their faith, and practice being the person that God has planned for us to be.
Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of my vulnerability series, and today we are going to talk about the repercussions of opening up and being vulnerable online in public. I would just start off and say I honestly wouldn't change this for the world. I've wanted nothing but to be transparent since I was 15 on my YouTube channel. I'd probably say around 16, 17. And so I posted a video when I was 18 about losing my virginity and how I was going through a lot at the time. And my dad told me to delete it. I was 18 at the time, and I was just like, so I privated the video, but it's back up now if you want to go watch it, because these traumas are not new. They are literally childhood traumas in my childhood experiences. So let's get into it. I want to start off and say a con to opening up online is that if you open up to people about what you plan to do, not everybody's going to agree with it. Some people are going to forewarn you of what could possibly happen. And honestly, there are things that can happen to you that you would never even expect outside of opening up about your experiences. For me, that issue was I had only really talked a lot about my father in the videos that I released in my series. And my mom was irritated about me talking about the family online, and so she basically said I'm not allowed at her Zoom class. And so that really hit deep, only because like dancing and dance workouts, I've been doing it for 13 years. Like, we've built the community together. Like, it wasn't just her. Everybody loves her and her 3 girls. Like, we was a pack. So that definitely hit deep. I honestly didn't really care about, oh, that's not true, because words do hurt. In the middle of her telling me that I'm not allowed to the class anymore, she said some hurtful things, and they do affect me, but it's expected behavior. They do this all the time. It's like, at this point, they can call me all types of things. It would be expected. The next thing would be that if the issue wasn't fixed prior to you opening up online, don't expect it to be fixed after. If you're doing this as a cry for help, it can go one or two ways. A positive way is that maybe your parent will finally see where you're coming from, hear your voice, and listen to you, and they'll make that change. They will listen to hear you, not listen just to respond. And they'll give you that clarity, that understanding, and what can we do to move forward type of thing. That's a beautiful, beautiful outcome of possibly opening up online. Now, the negative part is you can lose your family because they're embarrassed about their reputation, possibly being sabotaged and all these things. They may not want to speak to you. They may not want to see you. They may be uncomfortable around you, and you will be left out of activities from the family. I think that's a part, like when I see pictures on social media with my family, sometimes I get sad because I'm like, and it don't even gotta be if we're arguing. It's like, if I just had to work and I didn't get to go, sometimes I get sad because it's like, dang, I wish I was there. If you're arguing, it may hit a little bit more different. For me, the reason again why I decided to do this was I've always wanted to be transparent. This wasn't a cry for help, and honestly, I did not really want my family to watch my video, but like I said, it would be likely. But the purpose of doing it was to really relate to other girls. Like, oh my gosh, I've been touched by like 5 people, and I don't need a big community. Like 5 people who said that they went through similar things. They get it, they resonate. And I'm like, I'm sorry that you even had to go through it, but we're in this together. You're not alone. Like, you're really not. And that is the beauty of the whole thing. I would not change that for the world. Like, Whether it's one person to 100 to the rest of the world, it does not matter to me. Just helping somebody is like key to all of this. So I tried to be respectful in the sense that I set a disclaimer out just if my family watched it. And so my dad decided to comment on my YouTube video, and he basically said something along the lines of like, a disclaimer is like saying no disrespect but then disrespecting. And it sounds just like him, but a disclaimer was not to say no disrespect. The disclaimer is, this may impact you by what I say, it may impact you emotionally, but respect my decisions on sharing my experience on my platform. Like, you can't do anything about that. He said it's irreparable to a relationship. What relationship did we have? You wasn't trying to fix anything anyway. So, sorry, I don't mean to have an attitude, but it's just irritating when he tries to start thinking of himself higher, as if like, I need to have the relationship with him. Yes, I wanted that in the past, but I realize, no, a relationship is a two-way street. You guys learn to love on each other. It's not just one person loving another. What kind of relationship is that? And partly because I'm so transparent, I would say even if a civil conversation was had prior to me opening up online, I feel like I would still open up about my childhood experiences to still help other people. And then I could tell them the bright side of the situation, like, yeah, me and my parents were able to work it out. We go out every so often, like, it's a good time. When we do feel like there's about to be like an argument, like, we have a healthy way of communicating now, like, that would be like, you get to see the problem and then you kind of get to see the growth and the solution in maintaining a relationship. But we not there yet, and I don't know if we'll ever get there, and either way it's okay. So for example, like, my dad, he's blocked from my phone, so he does not have access to me. And so him definitely seeing my video, he just has to give his 2 cents, and he has to give his 2 cents in order to make himself look like, this is what will happen if, you know, you do everything to raise your daughter the best and they could still turn out like this. A narcissist will make themselves look like the good guy. That's what they always do. They need their reputation to be amazing. He also says something about the lines like, I don't give you consent to talk about me. I don't need consent to talk about you. This is my childhood experience. You are a part of that. I have a mother and I have a father. Unfortunately, it just had to be you. So people, like, he'll try to make it seem like just because he's the dad, I need his authority for everything, even as a 24-year-old. Like, I have to go to him for everything. So not everybody agrees with me sharing screenshots of text messages as context. That's where my intention is. It's for context of how I still have a relationship with my parents. It's the way in which we interact with each other that I want to share. All I am doing is giving context to a situation. To me, it's honestly no different than posting a screenshot of messages that are very positive and then posting a screenshot of messages that are very negative. It's the same thing. Had it been something positive, you wouldn't care. But now that it's negative, you care. So let me clear something up real quick. Since my parents are watching, my mom made a statement that I'm upset about a Chris Brown concert, that I'm upset I couldn't have Instagram. Okay, for Chris Brown, I may have made a big deal about that situation. Absolutely, I would agree with that. However, the only reason why I brought it up, maybe in the present, or which I haven't brought it up in probably about a year or two, but it's not something that I constantly bring up. It's just the fact that my dad was really strict on like music that I listened to. He didn't like put cuss words around me. Just any like negative music to him, I wasn't really allowed to listen to. And so one day he got me and my friends tickets to a Janae Aiko concert. And so from that moment, I was thinking, what is the difference between Janae Aiko and Chris Brown? So yes, at the time, Chris Brown beat Rihanna. I was letting my dad know at the time, like, I really don't care about the person. I just want to go for the experience. Like, it's nothing about me supporting him. It's a free ticket. I'm not paying no money for it. I have a free ride there and a free ride back. Like, you don't have to do anything. And so when I got to go to the Janae Aiko concert, it just got me thinking. I felt like that was inconsistent behavior, where you don't want me listening to cussing, and Janae Aiko cuss, she sings about sex, she sings about weed. And so I'm like, she's not that much different than Chris Brown. Yeah, she doesn't have a record, but like at the end of the day, they sing about the same things. They sing about drugs, alcohol, whatever. So my thing was, As strict as he was about certain things, he was definitely, from what I remember, he was saying him taking me to a Janae Aiko concert was something he felt I had the understanding, or he felt I was old enough to experience that. And that's fair, that's cool. But I'm just saying, for me, keep it consistent. I had a punishment where I had to like ask him to listen to certain songs, and I asked him to listen to Partition by Beyonce. Obviously that's about sex. He's like, do you know what that song's about? Orgasms and sex. And so, you know, couldn't listen to the song. Okay, cool, whatever. So if you're going to say I can't do certain things, for me it was just keep it consistent. I didn't enjoy inconsistent behavior. That's what I didn't enjoy about it. So we just gonna cut it there. If you can't accept the answer, oh well, that's the reason why I kept bringing it up. It was inconsistent. That's all I have to say, and that's it. As for Instagram, I got in trouble for having Instagram about 3 to 4 times. I kept hiding it, and I kept getting it when they told me not to. I'm not mad about that. There was a rule, and I broke it a bunch of times. So if you think I'm mad about that, definitely not. I have Instagram now. We don't gotta fight about that. The things I want clarity from, understanding from, was when a guy wrapped his arms around me, around my waist from behind, a random man. And I came home and told y'all how scary that experience was for me. Why didn't I feel protected or safe? There's nothing you could do, because I'm sure I never seen that man ever again. But at the end of the day, I felt like maybe you could have taken me to school for the rest of the week. Maybe you could have taken me to school for the next day. Like, it's like saying, if we want to go extreme, oh, I got SA'd sexually, and it's just like, what can I do? Like, yeah, you're gonna file a report, but like, what's the chances of you catching the person? Like, what, you know? Their response to that was, I don't remember that. I don't remember you telling me that. Okay, so how am I supposed to get clarity and understanding from that moment? Can't do nothing but tell my story. So then I was coming home from school. I took public transportation. A guy came up to me. I think he had tattoos on his face, and he kind of looked like a pothead, whatever. Had my earphones in. He was kind of in my face. My dad was late from picking me up, and he was usually late because he takes his time. So the guy was in my face, and I just take my earphones out and say, yes, like, you know, he's probably doing the, hey, what's your name, da 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 da, can I get your number, all this, that, and the third. And so my dad pulls up, and he sees the guy talking to me. Then when I get in the car, my dad goes off on me about how I should know better, how I shouldn't have been talking to him, how I shouldn't have been talking to a stranger, and he looks like a pothead, that's not the type of dude you want to talk to, all these things, right? And so, because you're a male, you'll never understand what it's like to be a female taking public transportation. At that time, I was probably 16 to 17 years old. So you getting on me for a situation that was uncontrollable, because there are 2 types of men. Men that can take rejection and men that can't. There are men out there who, if they can't take rejection, they will yell at you. They may hit you. There are things you have to do for safety. That man was getting in my face. He tried to get my attention. For my dad at the time to be yelling at me and not validating where I was coming from, instead you could have gave me pointers on something else I could have done in order to be safe. Instead, I got yelled at for that. So no, I don't feel safe, I don't feel protected, and you made me feel like that was my fault. So no, it's situations like that. The last situation I'll say is, I will never forget when I went to Renaissance, and I said all year, every day, I don't like the school. It's people there that are not my vibe. It's like the LGBTQ community, and I have no issue with that, but it wasn't my vibe. There were no cute boys there for me to look at. Girls are coming up to me just saying, oh my gosh, you're so pretty, I'm bisexual, by the way, like, and it has me confused. I'm there the whole year, and I'm just thinking like as a teenager, I wanted to have a relationship so bad. I'm in an environment where the only people that were attractive to me were women at the time, and I'm like, I don't know if I want this. So I start crying, and I tell my mom, I think I'm gonna be gay at the end. I believe this is in the car. This is from what I remember. I think I'm gonna be gay. And so when I said that, that's when they took me out of school. But you wanna know my dad's story? He says, I thought 2 girls were filling up on you in the bathroom, and that's why I had to take you out. Okay, goes to show you don't pay attention. That never came out of my mouth. So I tried to ask my mom and my grandmother for like clarity if they remembered. Nobody remembered. So what was I supposed to do? So no, I don't feel like validated. I don't feel listened to when I'm telling you I'm uncomfortable in this environment, and you're just stick it out, just try. I don't even know what they were saying. They wasn't taking me out until I said I was gay. So that's my point. I can go one more situation, but we gonna save it there. So those are reasons why I feel the way I feel. And if we want to go current today, I've just been left out of many family activities, and that's pissed me off because I've asked to be communicated with. On top of, I even went the extra mile and I set up a shared calendar. I've asked at the beginning of every month, what are your plans for this month? Okay, if anything comes up that is spontaneous, let me know. I would like to be included. I did the work. So, and I won't take all the credit. I think my mom tried, but there were still some instances where I was left out and it felt as if she wasn't trying hard enough. So I'm not going to sit here and say that she didn't do enough, but it felt that way, and I could be wrong about that. So to sum up that point, I was going to say everything that I told you guys, I told my parents already. I've told them everything else in private, and they've been able to answer me by saying that they don't remember and they have different versions of what happened. And to me, a version of like what my dad said about the schooling thing, that's not what happened. So my parents are not able to give me that opportunity to heal from the reasons they chose to do things, or let alone just take accountability for the fact that that was my experience and validate that. Like, that's your experience, and I apologize that I didn't pay attention. You could have said that. But when you take accountability, that means pay attention now. So in this, probably if your parents are not going to receive your feelings and your experiences well, expect for them to call you things that will hurt your feelings. I'm on a spiritual walk, and so I love my relationship with God, and like, the Bible is so good, y'all. Y'all need to go and read it. It's so good. And I'm trying to be better because I'm angry, not gonna lie. I'm angry and annoyed. So annoyed. But I'm trying my best to be respectful, and if I'm not being respectful in this video by my delivery, by my body language, I do really apologize because it's not my intention to be disrespectful. This is just touchy. It's upsetting. But my parents, my mother specifically, called me a liar. She said I have childhood made up stories. She called me a heathen. And that's really what they are. They don't believe. So I don't know about my mom. She used to go to church. Like, Belizeans are Catholic, and she goes to a Catholic church at times, very rare. I noticed she would go a lot when she was worried. So it's kind of like call on God when you're worried, and I don't know if you praise him any other time. I don't know if she has a Bible. I don't know anything about that. So to my knowledge, they don't have like my dad is atheist for sure, but my mom doesn't have a strong relationship with God, in my opinion. I haven't talked to her about it. I don't know. So I can only go off of what I saw. And then my dad commenting on my video, he said, you may be blessed or cursed with a family of my own. And so that is so mean. Oh my gosh. Like, that is so mean. And maybe it's like, oh my gosh, you're talking about me on the internet, and that's embarrassing. And so maybe it's like, I have to hurt you in order to feel better because now I'm exposed, or like, that's not my intention. So him saying that, it's just so mean. Like, if anything, I know that God will bless me if I am to have my own family, but it's just so mean for a father to say that you may be cursed with having a family of your own. Like, that is so mean. My mom said that I was spoiled and that I'm an adult, grow up and act like one. All these things. Being an adult, I've communicated. I've laid out all my issues on the table. I did everything I needed to do as an adult. So to say that I'm not acting like one is crazy. That's wild to me. You think me going to a public platform is childish? That's your opinion. I'm doing this for relatability for everybody else, and the fact that I touched 5 people, God bless them. I'm so grateful. Like, we all have work to do and we're all going through stuff and we're not alone. So that's the purpose. They also said that I owe them conversations. They owe me family therapy. Like, let's be real. I laid out all my issues on the table. My mom said she needed time. And within that time, I didn't plan. I had already planned before I sent her all my issues to open up about my experiences. So I don't know if that's going to stop her from looking into therapy for us, but I would have done it, but my insurance sucks so bad. Like, it wasn't a lot of options. Someone asked me, what do I want out of having a relationship with my parents? What I want is a relationship where they can validate me. Because I would do that for them. I would have to know more about their childhood in order to validate them. And just experiences in general. I want them to validate me and trust in my experiences and the way that I felt. That doesn't mean that it was right, but at least acknowledge my feelings. And I would want accountability for moments where they didn't pay attention, for moments where they failed to protect me, for moments where I felt invalidated. Accountability would be the type of relationship that I want with my parents, because I value accountability. If anything else, accountability is necessary in order for me to have a relationship with my parents. Now, if they can't give me that, if they don't have the capacity or the ability to give me that, there's no relationship that needs to be had. Like, that's sad because I have two alive and well parents who don't want to do that, but it is what it is. And so with accountability is also a 3-step process where you acknowledge the issue, you apologize for the issue, then you work on the issue. Like, it's that simple. And it's not easy for a lot of people. I don't think it was easy for me. Nobody likes to say, oh, I was wrong, or I failed, or I fell short. Like, nobody likes to say that, but I love it. Like, it's hard to see sometimes, and it's not always easy. Like, my friend told me that I wanted to still go to Zumba, right? My friend told me that that would be an immature decision if you still chose to do that. And I was like, oh my gosh, don't say that. Like, and I was disappointed in myself for making an immature decision because I always try to do better. And so I'm a little stubborn. So my decision is like, I'm gonna give it some time. But tell me what y'all think about that, because I just feel like, stop controlling everything that I love to do. Like, if you love me, if you want the best for me, let me do what I want to do. Like, let me go dance and heal, because that helps. You know what I'm saying? Anyway, lastly, I would just say I'm not going to be in relationships where I'm the only one putting in the work. That's not how a relationship works. It's two people. Two people have to put in the work. They're always not going to be 50-50. Sometimes it may be 70-30, but it is what it is. So yeah, this was my experience on opening up about my story. It still does come with pain because unfortunately it's not a lot of resolution. However, like I said, I am so grateful to be healing with you guys, to be acknowledging our experiences, validating our experiences, and just hopefully we can give each other tips on how to heal. For me, opening up and being transparent is a version of me healing. This for real, my last point. I don't even know where I left off. We just obviously in the messages and everything, they think I'm doing it for likes. They think I'm doing it to get famous off of my family trauma. Oh my gosh, woo. If you want to be realistic, have you seen the views? Have you seen the likes? Is that even realistic to say that that's what I'm doing it for? Have you seen all of my content? Oh, have you seen all of that? Have I opened up about, you know, being transparent and everything that I went through my childhood a long time ago? I did, but I was told to delete it, to remove it. So if I wanted to be famous, to, you know, reach my goal off of likes and my family, I would have done this a long time ago. So I'm speaking in that voice because it's beyond me. Like, you know, people are gonna assume, people are gonna hate, people are gonna just imagine the most outrageous and not want to see your pure intentions. Like, y'all, that is so annoying. Like, My parents specifically are really annoying for that. Like, I can't believe that y'all would say that. But whatever. Ignore why I'm actually doing it. And I'm gonna say it one more time just in case they don't hear it. It's for relatability purposes, for healing purposes. And that's the thing that y'all don't want to accept, and it's annoying. Like, so yeah, you know, and I honestly don't even want to get my recognition as a content creator because of my family, because they will be the type to be like, we got her to where she was because she opened up about us and, you know, had to expose us online and, you know, make lies about us. So anyway, yeah, that's it, y'all. Let me see if I can remember my last point because I'll be writing stuff down. Yeah, that's about it for this video. So I will see you guys in the next one. I hope this brought clarity. Again, if I was disrespectful, which again, I'm definitely annoyed and irritated about, like, the responses of it. I like, nothing could have prepared me for the feelings that would come with this, like the extra feelings if it went sour, which it did. I have the negative side of opening up about my childhood traumas and experiences, but I pray for you guys that it's a positive experience, that your parents are a little bit more accountable and a little bit more validating and empathetic to what you actually felt and experienced as a child. So I pray that they won't, you know, disregard you and tell you that everything is about you and that you're selfish, because it is such a hurtful and invalidating place to be. Like, I have felt this way majority of my life, so it's annoying, but what can we do? Without further ado, I pray for your healing. I love you guys so much, and to my parents, I still love you guys, but this is how I'm going to heal. You can't take that away from me. Whether we were in a good place or not, I was still going to be transparent about the things that I have been through, because I have nothing to be ashamed of or regret. I don't have that in my life. Like, everything is a lesson. Do I like the way that things happen? No, because sometimes I can be a little stubborn, and sometimes I, you know, do things because I want to do them and I don't listen to what God is telling me to do. I'm still a human, and that's one more thing that my dad tells me, that I can call you out on your walk. I can call you out on your characteristics. You're still a human. You lean on your own understanding. And if I'm a Christian, which I am, I can tell you, because you're choosing to be atheist, that's wrong. But I'm not going to belittle your experience and what you believe in. Like, that's not the type of person that I am. I pray that you find the Lord. Like, He is a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful God. Like, He is a loving God and graceful God. And I pray that you find your way with Him, because Jesus is coming back. So we better be ready. Okay, for real, for real. Bye, y'all. Love you.